Hello, guys. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, and I am welcoming you to Becca's Backyard Live at our new time and our new day. We have moved from Tuesdays. We are now doing Becca's Backyard Live on Thursdays at 11:20 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 1:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited to see you guys have made the jump, and I see that a bunch of you are here ready for this week's Backyard Live. It's so weird, you guys, to be doing this at this time of day on this day. Like, I got so used to doing it with you guys on that particular day at that particular time, as we do as autistics. And I got used to that routine, and it feels so weird to be talking to you on a totally different day with a new schedule going on in my life and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so I don't know, it just feels weird, but I'm excited. I'm excited to get to talk to you guys because it feels like it's been forever, even though it's only been an extra couple of days. But it feels like it's been a whole lot longer. Hey, CV. So I'm excited to see you guys are back, and I'm gonna do some talking a little bit about, again, why I made this change of date and time and kind of what's going on in my life, and catch you guys up on that. And then I guess we'll talk about our topic, which I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk, or how to like kind of talk about what I wanted to talk about, and like name it, give it a topic. So yes, you're wondering about the change of time, right? I'm glad. I am so glad that you guys are here and catching up, so I can tell you, hi Morgan, hi Nancy, hey Miriam, hey Bill. So we're all here. We all made it. I'm hoping it's an okay time for all of us. You guys last week seemed to say this was a good day and time for you. So exciting. We're here on our new day and time. It is a beautiful day here. I will tell you, you guys, it has been uncomfortably hot here in Colorado the last few days. We've had a really big dry spell. And then on top of it, we have like, I don't know, something like 60% of the state on fire or something right now. We have a bunch of wildfires going on. So it's been really, really hot. And on top of it, the smoke has been keeping the heat really in and on us. So it's been brutal. But last night or yesterday afternoon into the evening, we got a really big, beautiful rainstorm that cleared the smoke away. And it is the first beautiful day that we've had in a couple of weeks, and also the most comfortable temperature. So like, I am just happy to be out here with you guys and enjoying the weather and taking some time to just be real with you folks and just step away from the computer in that sense, like answering emails and crap. So yeah, the new day and time, let's talk about it, right? If you were watching Newsstand and keeping up with Newsstand, you would have seen me come to you live from Antonio's new dream, which is we are pursuing his dream to own his own deli, to run his own food place, and like a takeout food place. And so we are starting on a food truck adventure, he and I. And so that's what we're doing. We're currently at the moment renting a food truck from our friends who are also food truck people, and we're renting it on the days they're not using it. So that's Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. And because of that, it meant that I wasn't going to be able to I would never have the spoons nor the time, I don't think, on a day when we're doing the food truck to be able to come to you guys live. And so had to change the day for a day that we're not doing the food truck. And that is why we are having the change of day and time. On that note, I invited a bunch of you guys on my social media to follow his food truck on Instagram and such, so you can keep up with our food truck adventures as we go on them. And you can bear with me as I am now in that really uncomfortable transition that I talked about last week of trying to get my schedules together, trying to kind of say no to the things that I need to say no to, and step away from those things, and also say yes to the new things that I have to be adding in. And it is what? Uncomfortable, you guys. So here I talk to you all the time about getting comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's still not easy for me. But I'm walking through it, right? Because I know that the uncomfortable will go away, and I know it's going to take us a couple of weeks to set up a new routine that works for us. And you know, I kind of just need to kind of figure out how to transition. What are the things that I'm doing in terms of advocacy that I want to hang on to? What are the things that I kind of want to let go of because it'll be too much with that? And making those decisions. So keep a heads up. I love doing the live stream. I don't think that's going anywhere, but I might stop doing Newsstand the vlog. I'm not sure. I love the group, but we're slow on news. And I'm not sure what to kind of do over there with that. So I'll probably be looking to you guys in the Newsstand group to kind of help me to make those decisions and how to do that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I have new projects coming out that you guys don't even know about. A couple of little, another kind of video type YouTube situation coming out, and I've got another podcast, new one coming out with somebody else, and I'm excited, and I can't share it yet, and it's all that stuff. But for all the old stuff that I'm sort of saying, no, I can't do that anymore, right? I'm kind of stepping through a door, I guess, in my life, and I'm like, it's changing. So it's time to let go of some projects I've given my energy to for a very long time and say, I can't do this anymore, and time to pick up new projects that mean moving forward for me and not doing the same old thing all the time. So I'm excited about that. But it is a transition. It is exhausting. I am having to do things like cancel meetings that I set up and stuff because I'm finding that losing spoons even more so because it's a transition. Like, I know once we get into our routine and we have a pattern and it's just the way that we go, that's the way that my life is, it won't be as exhausting. But as you're creating, the creation of those routines and walking through that is so exhausting. So know when I talk to you guys about that stuff that I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from a place of I walk it too, and this is how I get through it. And you're watching it happen right now for me in my life. And so you can see for yourself that it's a cycle that you will, if you can master the cycle, you can master the walking through the uncomfortable part, right? You're set for life because the cycle will always happen. You're going to have transitions throughout life and things are always going to be changing, or at least they should be if you're doing your job at trying to be the best you out in the world, right? And to be your authentic self. So I'm saying, learn from me because I do. I've walked through the transitions a million times before, and I've walked through them now with this information, and I know it can be different and better for us. The uncomfortable will never go away, but we can get better at walking through the uncomfortable. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Let me catch up over here. Oh, I'm glad Thursdays are better for you, Miriam. And this time of day I know is better for Joe. So I think it's working out this time. I think it'll be great. Thank you so much, Miriam. I appreciate you sharing your experience because on Miriam's channel, if you're not watching it, on Nontraditional Life, she talks from experience too. And I think that's when we all kind of really connect because it's not about what it is that we're saying out there to the world. It's like about who we are and who we want to be, and being vulnerable and sharing our real selves makes it easier for other people to access that part of themselves. I think, or at least that's what I hope and why I'm doing it. But in any case, yes, I will I'm going to put a link to your channel, Miriam, in the description later after we're done with the live stream, because you guys should follow her. She does great videos, much more professional than mine, I will tell you. Anyway, moving on. Thank you, Morgan. I can't wait to see what I have in store for everybody, but I have these and they're like in their baby stages, and you know when you're creating something that you're excited about and the other person that you're working with is excited about, and it gives you all goosebumps and stuff, and you think like, I can't wait to show it to the people who like what I like because I think they're gonna like it too. So that's how I feel about these two projects that I'm working on. I'm excited for you guys. But anyway, yes, I'm glad, TV, that yes, I share this stuff, yes, for exactly that reason, so that when you guys are struggling with how to reevaluate your spoons, or to know it's time to reevaluate your spoons, or just a reminder that, you know, doing spoon management is important, right? I share with you because I do it, right? And I don't speak from a place of not, right? I always tell you guys I'd never kind of ask you or tell you to do anything I wouldn't do myself, more so that I haven't already done myself and seen that it works, right? So this is that stuff. This is the constant cycle of spoon management, and you can see it kind of in my life playing out now, right, in this way. And it feels the same way it feels for you, uncomfortable. I'm tired all the time. I'm a little bit more cranky. I feel like overwhelmed. I'm having panic attacks here and there, things like that, right? Because this transition is uncomfortable, but I can walk through it much healthier now because I say to myself, yeah, but it's just a transition. You'll get back into a routine and it will get better. And over time, it's just going to become a routine. It won't feel like this. So I just have to walk through the uncomfortable to get to the comfortable. And that's what I do to keep myself going. So I literally tell myself what I tell you to tell yourselves. I promise that that's what I do. And so, yes, I am enjoying it, Miriam. I am happy to share the work that you guys do. Know that whoever kind of I follow and I share and we have a relationship with, be it online only, whatever. I love sharing your work, and that's why I created Neurodiversity Newsstand, so that you guys could have a place to share your work and what you're doing, because we need to be like a loud voice. As many of us doing whatever we can, shouting it out and sharing it. Oh, thank you, Miriam. I'm sorry. She does use the they, them pronoun. I'm so bad at that. Thank you so much for correcting me, Miriam. I appreciate it very much. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I share that with you guys, and I give you Newsstand as a platform to share your stuff. Please let me know if there's anything you're working on that you want me to follow you doing, or you want me to share in my groups or whatever. I am always happy to build everybody else up, because there's enough for all of us out there. There's plenty, so much. But anyway, let us move on. Let us move on to our topic of choice for today, which I had a little bit of, I was wavering. I was like wonky fence sitting about what the topic should be today, because I had an ask for an awesome live stream topic that I think is so cool. And it wasn't the first time that I was asked for this live stream topic. And so I was really excited to finally kind of tackle it. And so the idea was, the person asked basically, how can you tell, like, what is masking versus not masking? What does it look like? Like, can you show me? Like, there's no visual examples of what that looks like, right? And so can I do that? And I thought to myself, well, I can try, right? And I can't do it alone. I think I'd need another person. Like, it'd sort of have to be like a dialogue situation and kind of run twice in the two different ways, was how I imagine is the only way to kind of give a visual of it. But you guys, I'm going to tackle it. The thing was, I wanted to do it this week, but as I've told you, I'm having spoon management issues and all of this transition in my life, and things on different days, and everything's being moved around. And so I didn't have the time to plan it out. I just didn't have the time to get my crap together to really what it is get my crap together enough to convince Antonio to get on here to do this with me. Because if I'm going to do a dialogue with somebody, there's really only one choice I have, because I don't think any of the dogs will respond well to doing a dialogue. I think it would still be a monologue in that situation. So I didn't get there yet. Excuse me. And I didn't get to talk to him about that stuff yet. So I'm going to do a topic that I've been thinking a lot about, which sometimes they work out better. I've been thinking a lot about it and how to kind of cover it. And I thought maybe I would do it as a newsletter theme, because I think there's going to be lots of really rich material out in the world to share with you on this topic that isn't autism centered, which, if you notice, when I do the newsstand and I share articles with you, it is regular for regular people. It's not like specific for autism necessarily, right? So I like to talk about topics that are important to human beings in the newsletter, not necessarily autism topics. And so I decided that it was sort of the idea of mentors, and mentorship was something that I wanted to talk about. But sort of a subtopic of mentors is the idea of role models, right? That in some ways, you know, a mentor is really someone that you work with, who helps you kind of walk through, kind of like what I'm doing with you guys when we do the course, right? That kind of help mentor you through the course. Whereas a role model is someone that you could very well never meet in your life and never have any interaction with. And they kind of sit up on that pedestal, right? And they're, you know, something that you want to literally model yourself after, right? So I think what I'm going to do is, and the way I solved it for myself is, I think I'm going to do mentors and the importance of mentors in a newsletter. I think that's going to be my newsletter topic. I don't know if it's going to be this month or not, but it might be, because it kind of goes nicely with what I want to talk about today, which is the role model piece. It's something that I think about a lot in terms of autism, and then I think about it in terms of like human beingness, right? And how am I going to talk about it? Role models. Okay, so let's start here. Let me think about it like this. When I do my autism work, I talk about role models in a certain way, and I talk about it for a really important reason. In terms of autism role models, what I think about is all the little kids out there who are getting their autism diagnosis, and we know we're getting more autism diagnosis, our diagnosis is getting better, et cetera, et cetera. So we've got all these little kids out there who are getting this autism diagnosis, and here we are, adult autistics, telling them, please make sure you're doing identity first, please let them know that they're autistic, please let that not, let's normalize autism, it doesn't need to be stigmatized, and we're telling them all of that. But here's a really hard thing. What you have in front of you is a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or whatever. And as a parent, you most literally cannot picture that child as an adult, right? You sort of can only picture them as that being in front of you, and you think, how are they going to make it out in the world, right? And so when I talk to parents and I talk to teachers and I talk to even when I talk to fellow autistic adults, right? Because we have to remember we have a role model place out in the world, and we're not being utilized in that role model way, right? Oftentimes, a lot of parents, oh, there's a bee, I'm going to ignore it. Best thing to do. Okay. And we go out in the world and we're being ourselves and we're telling everyone that autistic adults exist, and we're doing all these great reminders, but we have to remember that we're also role models to the young autistics, and we need to be visible for them, right? When I was growing up, I can't think of a single person that I could tell you was someone who was a visible person with a disability that was out and about and talking about it as though there was nothing wrong with it. Those did not exist when I was growing up. So if you found out you were disabled, you sort of really felt bad about yourself because there wasn't a role model out there, a disability role model for anybody, right? And so I say, I feel like I feel a role model space in that way, in that it's so important for the parents of our young autistics to see autistic adults and know that their children are going to grow up and grow out of and grow into their diagnosis, right? At the same time, right? A lot of the early behaviors and the early struggles and challenges we see kind of change as we develop, right? Just like as other people develop into adulthood, right? I certainly don't look like their 4-year-old son, right? But at the same time, when I was 4 years old, I didn't look like this either, right? So I think that's a piece of the role model conversation, is that autism role model thing. And so I wanted to mention that kind of as a side note, to remember that as autistic adults, we are and need to be role models for young autistics, that they can go out in the world and succeed and still be autistic all the way. And that parents need to seek us out, and we need to kind of do things like why I do my platform, right? Is because I want other people to know that autistic adults exist, and we can look really different from each other. In fact, we could look, I don't know, just like them, right? And so that is the place that I'm coming from in terms of role modelness in the autism sector. But what I wanted to talk about today, and it's going to be a little bit of a long live stream, I guess, is that kind of piece of role modelness that as human beings, we all need. Okay, so as more from the place of self-defined living, more from the place of the course that we're running through, more from that idea, in that we all need role models, right? And those role models for us as autistics don't necessarily have to be other autistics, right? We can be looking to neurotypicals, particular neurotypicals that we also want as role models. A lot of people find that their early role models tend to be either characters on TV. Sometimes I think early role models are often like superheroes, things like that, right? And then the older we get, sometimes it's a teacher, or sometimes it's a professor, or maybe someone that is doing a career that you think you want to do, right? That kind of thing. And so we look to those people. As autistics, the autistic layer in there, right? Let's go back to it for a second. So there's like the autistic role model piece, but then as you are looking for role models as an autistic, that's the phrase I want to come from right now, right? A lot of it is also kind of echolalia of body language, if that makes sense. It will make sense to you guys. I don't know if it'll make sense to other people, but who cares, right? So like, right, yes, Bill, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting there, Bill, yes. So Bill asked, do our role models become our masks? And I want to say, yes, right? Right. Okay. And Miriam has content creator role models for YouTube. Right. And so, yes, I think in the autistic sense, we look to role models in that echolalia of body language, in that it helps us to say, this is how I want to present to the world. So when I'm presenting to the world, I want to mimic this person's body language, or this person's kind of maybe their style of clothes or their hair or something. And I think in a sense, what we do is piece together the parts of our role models that feel right on us, and that is what becomes our masks. I think that is the place, and I want to explore that place. Right? Yes, Bill, exactly. What would John Lennon do is what Bill asked himself. You want to know what I ask myself? What would Oprah do? Oprah is my role model, or one of my role models, right? I ask myself that all the time. How would Oprah respond to this? What would her professional, forward-facing response be? What would her personal response be, right? And I think about that all the time. So that's what I ask. And so I want you guys to think about it. I want you to think about the role models that you have in your life. Think about the ones you have now, the ones you had growing up, right? Was there the echolalia of body language that turned into masking for you? Did you also have that experience? So it seems, at least for me, because before I could get there, Bill got there. So it seems that we can say at least he and I have had that shared experience with role models, right? And I think as I've gotten older, tell me if you also experienced this, Bill, when I'm struggling kind of with how to process through a particular situation, even if it's an emotional situation, I kind of think about my role models that way too. Yes, picked up phrases, Joe. Yes, that kind of really suit you and feel right, right? That kind of thing. So I want us to explore that. I want to explore how we can still have role models, but not let it become. You've had that, yes? You too, Bill? Oh, okay. So I'm relieved. I'm relieved that I'm not a wackadoodle, and that I have at least confirmed with one other human being that this is their experience. And I would love to like confirm it with other people, because I think I'm onto something. But also, I want us to break that down, right? When we go out en masse, right, we're doing this thing where we're not really being our authentic selves. But a role model is part, when you choose a role model, that's part of creating your authentic self. So how do we separate the part of our role modelness that we take and turn into masking, and still have a role model, but use it in a more authentic way? Can we use it as a way to guide us through, right? What is it about these people we're attracted to? What is it about their way of being that we want to essentially parrot, right? Why? What is it about them that we admire, that we respect, right? And can we take those pieces and parrot and mimic those pieces without losing our authentic selves, without covering our autism with their mannerisms, right? Can we do that with our role models? So that's something I need to explore personally. But I also need to think about if it's even possible. Can we separate that? I don't know. Right. And I really am interested in how that all works for us. So on that note, I wanted to share with you guys, besides the big, mind-blowing philosophical moment that I had with myself over that, and Bill just had with me over here, I have to tell you, I was like, well, let me think about who those people are. Who are those people whose echolalia of style or body language or the way they speak or whatever it is? Who are those people in my life? And what is it, right? What is it that they have in common? So gotta go to my phone because I did a little homework for this for you guys to see if, oh God, I'm gonna lose my voice now. I don't want to lose my voice right now. I'm getting to the fun part. Okay. So I made a list of some of the ones that came to me right away, right? My go-tos, I want to say, like my John Lennon's, my version of John Lennon's. So I wrote them down, and then I kind of looked at them. And you guys are free to laugh and mock at me as you will as to who my people are, but I love them, and I really do feel this way, really tied to it. So let's find that little thing where I talked about it. Okay, so Oprah, I already talked about. Another one for me is Judge Judy, you guys. I'm sorry. I think, all right, so I love Judge Judy. I really do. Another few, Courtney Love, Joan Didion, who's a writer, fantastic. Ayanla Fix My Life is another one for me. Jen Sincero, who wrote You Are a Badass, is another one for me. And so when I look at that list, and I kind of looked at them all together, and I thought, you know what it is? They're truth tellers, right? They're all women who speak their truth. They just unabashedly speak their truth, whether or not people like them or not. And I admire that. And I guess I sit in that seat and I want to be that person. I want to be able to share that my truth with other people. And it makes so much sense when I put it all together, right? And I'm like, hey, well, that makes a lot of sense. That's the quality that ties those people together. And I guess that's the quality that I want to really, I guess, emulate, right? And so that's the piece of it that's important to me. And it was such a nice little journey of self to kind of go through that circle and pick apart what those people mean to me. So I hope, and I do, you guys really, and I'm sure, and Antonio makes fun of me all the time for all kinds of things. The Judge Judy thing, not one of them, because he thinks it's funny. And I do. I think it's funny too. I just love her stance, the way she pulls no punches, the way she just kind of cuts to the chase, and she's a fellow New Yorker, and I do it all the time, and so part of it is that, but I had to kind of go through that journey with myself and think about that. Can I pull apart the masking piece, like kind of curtain it away, and say, well, what else is it about these women? It's not just that echolalia piece. There's something there, right? And I did, and that's what I got from it. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I can't wait to catch up and chat over here, because there is the chit-chatting over here that I can't read right now, and I'm excited to catch up in it. But I'm excited that it's getting you guys talking, because it's something that's kind of been like, you're like pondering, and I'm here up on a mountain. Who do I have to talk to about? Antonio doesn't want to talk about it all the time. You guys are my it. So I'm so glad to kind of that it resonated with you guys. And I'm glad to have gotten it out. So before I run out of voice and time and energy, before my next thing that I have to go to, which is record Neurodiversity Newsstand for tomorrow, you guys, I want to catch up and chat, and then I want to leave you with a few words, I guess. So let's see. We stopped with Joe and she picked up phrases. Yes, Bill had the experience. When I'm afraid to, Stevie says, when I'm afraid to do something out of my comfort zone, it helps me pretend I am someone I want to be like. Yes, that's what I mean, right? That's that echolalia of body language. Like, I'm frozen and I need to get through the situation, and I want to get through it in a way where I feel like I can hang on to my respect. Well, who's someone that I respect, and how would they process through this situation? Like, if I don't have the tool myself, at least let me steal it from someone who I respect. And I think that's what we do as autistics. And so I think that's the component of masking that we're missing in explaining it. I feel like that's the piece of it, but I'll get there. I'm sure there's going to be a blog piece about this. You know that, you guys, it's coming. All right, let's see. Yes. Okay. So Miriam saying she'd heard about echolalia a few months ago, but never thought of it in this sense. Neither did I. And I've heard about echolalia for years, but I never thought about it in this sense, in this way of full, almost like embodied echolalia, not just the voice, not just the words, not just the components, right? Really interesting that I feel like I'm on a little journey right now about it. And I'm exploring it for myself. I want you to know that, you guys. The stuff that I talk about is stuff I'm exploring for myself, because I know it'll make me a better person, and I know I'll get to know myself better, and my own triggers, my needs, my wants, all that stuff. And I just want to say, here, go on the journey with me. Think about these things too. Why not? Right? So what else? Karen was late. She forgot to change. It's okay. I'm sorry. And we all are going to, I almost forgot to change. All right. And my master more about blending. Oh, so interesting, Karen. So Karen has an opposite experience. Her experience is with masking is that he's using it to blend in, right? That's really interesting. So, well, I'll have to talk to you about that separate. We'll have to talk about that, Karen. Joe does it anyway. Nice list of strong women. Thank you, Morgan. They are a nice list of strong women. I was excited to see them. Thank you, Bill. I'm trying to be brave. I have not been brave my whole life. I realized that I thought I was being brave and strong and everything, but what I was really doing was being isolated and angry and vengeful. And I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be a strong woman. So thank you. Thank you for calling me brave. I am brave and afraid at the same time, I tell you, Bill. Thank you, CV. Aw, I love that, Joe. Can we talk about this? So Joe just said in the chat, she said, I do a Wonder Woman pose before leaving the house if I'm feeling I need confidence. Okay. You just shared that. I'm going to share back at you, Joe. Here it comes. I'm old, so you're going to have to go back, and I'm also American, so you might have to Google. But when I was growing up, there was a gymnast named Mary Lou Retton. And Mary Lou Retton was the best gymnast ever. And I was like, she's so cool. She was like friendly and fun, but she was also like really cool gymnast. And she was short like me, and it was so neat. And when anytime she kind of finished a routine, she was always so proud of herself. And she kind of like threw her hands in the air and she like pushed her chest out really high. So when I'm feeling like that, I'm like, Mary Lou Retton, and I do one of those. So you are not alone, Joe. And I think that stuff is healthy to do. And I think we find whatever the way is in. So for some of us, it's that movement. It's that echolalia of movement to kind of identify the feeling and to absorb the feeling and emotion and carry it with you, right? It kind of happens that way. So I do that too. So there's a connection there. There's some kind of connection. I haven't figured it out yet entirely, so I'm having trouble articulating it. Shocker. Anyway. Yes, Bill is vibrant. Yes, this is way cool, isn't it? So I am on this thing about it, and I hope that you guys that are in our conversation right now, and that you guys that catch up with us later on, I want to hear from you. If you think this is amount to something, you have something to share about it, if you think it's a cool topic, could you please hit me up an email or comment on where you're seeing this video, live stream, whatever, and let me know. My email is info@beccalaurie.com, or you can go to the contact page on my website, which is beccalaurie.com. But I know it's like such a good thing. I'm still trying to figure out how and if I do mask or not. It's a concept I'm still struggling with, says Miriam. Yes, and that's why I want to do the other video to try and I guess mimic it. I feel like it's going to be, there's no way for it not to be kind of over the top. I think that's the way I'm going to have to exaggerate a little bit, I think, in order for it to otherwise it'll just look too real, I think, and then we won't really see it. So I'm going to try to exaggerate it a little bit, but that's why I want to do that one, right? Because I too struggled with that in the beginning. Who am I in here? Like, where is my authentic self? What parts are my masking and what parts are my authentic self? And we all struggle with that post-diagnosis. It's common. And so I guess I want to provide like a window or an example or just some way to access that piece. And so I will get on that video. That video is happening, I promise. Miriam says, yes, you're definitely onto something. I definitely use echolalia when filming videos. Yes, because when you like something, right, we always say, what do they say? There's that stupid saying, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? That's what they say. And that's what I think about, right? Like I like what that person's doing. And this echolalia thing is sort of a respect to them almost. Like, I like what you're doing so much. I want people to think I'm like you almost. Or I don't know how to, for me, it's more an experience of, I don't know how to express that out to you in a way that is commonly recognized. So I need to use someone else's like body language and someone else's tools to get that message across, because I don't have my own, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's really weird experience. And I guess other autistics are having this weird experience too, which is awesome. And so I think we should think about it. That's what I think. I also think neurotypical people do this, Miriam says, and I say too, because we know neurotypicals also mask, and I think their masking also comes from this place. I think they have to mask less, which is why they don't talk about it or think about it in the way that we do. I think that we have to do this like 80% of the time, 90% of the time, and they're at like 40% of the time, 20% of the time. And so that's what we need to think and talk about, because that does, I think we lose our spoons in there. And sometimes when you do that echolalia stuff with your role models, it saves you spoons, right? Because you're like, I just want to express that. And you just access that person, and it's like an easy way to make the communication happen. So in a way, some of this masking stuff helps us to use less spoons and save them for other things, right? So I have to think about this like whole cycle of things. And thank you, Nancy, for knowing who Mary Lou Retton is. And you remember her because I loved her and I wanted to be like her. But I'm not athletic and I have neither of those things. Anyway, I bump into stuff a lot, and so I can't do that. I'm not coordinated. Anyway, That's what I wanted to talk about today. I realize it's a long live stream, but we're all really into the topic. So let's think about this stuff. Let's you guys go and see if you can make a list of your role models, those people, the John Lennons, right? My Oprah. Find your person or persons, make a list of them. See if you can figure out what it is about those people that you kind of like and want to imitate. What is it? What is it about them? And that quality. And maybe it's just that we need to figure out how to embody that quality rather than embody that person in order to be true to our authentic selves. I don't know. That's where I am with it, you guys. I'm sharing it as I'm thinking about it. I wish we could be having this conversation like in real life around the table and like hanging out, or even in my backyard playing with my dogs, but we can't. However, I have had more and more interest in the concept of a retreat. So if you think that that's something that you might want to do, if I'm able to make it happen, could you please start saving for flights? I can probably figure out how to get all the other stuff covered, but I won't be able to cover your flights from wherever you live to Colorado. So figure that part out. Start saving now. It might be a year from now, probably longer, but I really want to do it for us because I want us to have these conversations in real life. I want to make sure that we can get together at some point and kind of have these conversations in real life. Yes, a virtual campfire. Ooh, you guys, a virtual campfire. Can I do that? I might be able to make that happen. Going on the list, good thoughts. I love it. I love that we're all kind of getting excited for each other. What are we yay CVing about? I missed it in the chat. Still figuring out. I built a radio career on masking echolalia. Yes, I'm telling you. I feel like it is. I also figured out. I'm also still figuring out. That's great. Nancy's figuring out how she masks. So I'm going to get to that video. I swear, I'm getting to it. As a flight attendant, yes, CVC. These are like, I know people talk to us about all of these particulars about us and our autismness, our echolalia, and all of that stuff. But they are also strengths. They are also the tools that we use to get through the world. They're not useless. They're not these vagabond things that we have floating around that are just little quirks that people find annoying. They're tools that we use to get through life, to get to have careers and jobs and all of this other stuff. Like, I'm so tired of being poo-pooed about those things. I'm so tired of it because they are actually tools. And I talk about this all the time with other people. I have been asked about things. Most recently, I was asked about disassociation. And, that it's thinking of it as a negative thing when disassociation has a job. It's when you get too overwhelmed, your body says, hold on, I have to step away. And that's what dissociation is. Right? It saves you. It's protecting you for some reason. And so it's not a negative thing. It's a tool. It's a positive thing. It's your brain helping you. Right? So it's all of these things. So, oh, I'm so excited. I just made it Miriam's Halloween idea even better. I'm so excited. Yay. I'm excited for you to make this video. I'm so excited. I'm excited that our conversations inspire you to do something creative or think about something you've never thought about or have a little fun or create some joy, whatever it is. It connects us when we do this and we share that energy for a bit. So yes, disassociation can be CV's superpower, right? It saves you with your MRIs, right? It can help me through any number of situations when I need it to. That's why our brains create it, right? That's why it happens. So I think we need to think about all this stuff. We need to think about role models and masking and all the components and pieces of it. And I think we should break it down. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. I think we need to have our John Lennons and Oprahs. We need them in order to get through the world, even in our early stages, before we've developed enough as human beings to understand how to be our authentic selves. It's like a crazy journey, but it's a tool and we need it and we use it and it works and it gets us through things. So to throw it away is a mistake. We just need to learn about it. We learn to learn and peel apart the functionality of it, right? And what we're using it for. That's what I want to find out. So I want to find that out from you guys, from me, from us on our sharing. So do share with me, please. All right, that's it. We were going at 40 minutes. That is way too long for a live stream. I know people get bored after 20 minutes, so I'm going to move along. I hope I let you guys think about some stuff you haven't thought about before, that I got you excited and creative. I think this time is going to work for us. It's working for me. I got a good groove at this time of day, so I think it's going to work out for us. Yeah, so I'm going to go now and I'm going to eat some lunch and then create Neurodiversity Newsstand for tomorrow for you guys. I hope to hear from you about this video. I'm excited. I'm excited to have kind of tossed it out there at you. Well, we'll talk soon. I'm Becca Laurie Hector. I will see you next time, next Thursday at 11:20 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the rest of you got to do the math because I have dyscalculia and I can't. So that's the situation. I will see you guys next week. You will catch Neurodiversity Newsstand tomorrow when I drop it. And I will see you on Thursday for the live stream. Newsletter is coming up, you guys. If you're not signed up for my newsletter, it is free. Go to my website, beccalaurie.com. You can sign up right on the website, and you will get the September issue, which will, of course, have exclusive discounts to my course, which, by the way, you guys, sharing this before I hang up, every single person who wants to be in Unit 3 is covered by their and needed a scholarship seat. Let me say it that way. Everybody who wants to be in Unit 3 who needed a scholarship seat has one. Get that. Yes, we have sponsors for everybody who needed it. So I have Unit 3 all full, and I have sponsors on top of that. So after I drop Unit 3 on September 16th, I'm going to start offering full scholarships for all 3 units because it'll be up for you guys to buy all the replays until I do it again live in the spring. So that's what I've got to say. Sign up for my newsletter, get the discounts. If you need to be on a scholarship list, let me know. If you want to take Unit 3 with us, register now. And if you missed 1 and 2, the replays are up so you can watch them and catch up. All right, you guys, I will see you. Well, you'll see me tomorrow for Newsstand, and I'll see you guys next Thursday at 11:20 a.m. Mountain Standard for Becca's Backyard Live. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.